Hey guys, this is Jon
and Austin.
This is another episode of the Meatgistics podcast brought to you by Waltons. So we've got a little experiment here that I blame social media for. I think it was Allie who saw it, but maybe it was somebody else. Somebody took the basics of sous videing for cooking and put a wrinkle on it and put it in their dishwasher.
Adds a level of tenderizing to it.
No, why?
I don't know. If it's in the dishwasher, it's getting blasted by water jets, and it's tenderizing it.
Okay, maybe. But I was ordered to double bag this, which I was against doing that.
Good. I forgot to follow up on that because I don't trust the whole thing, but I figure if it's double bagged, I feel safer.
Yeah, I don't think that the friction between the two bags creates probably more issues than it solves. We all know. Okay, but we then finish it up on our Camp Chef Gridiron 36 griddle, and we are going to see what this tastes like. I tempt it out of the dishwasher, so my hopes are extremely low.
Let's just rephrase this as Jon's cutting. Jon was whining like a little baby that his steak was overcooked.
Oh my God, look at that.
It looks fine. I would say it is a little overcooked, but there's still pink in there. It's just not bleeding red like you like it.
I want it bleeding. Everybody wants it bleeding, and this feels tough.
I mean, that's just the steak that you got and the length of time that it was cooked.
All right, you ready? Give it a shot. I gotcha.
Ooh.
I mean, flavor is spot on.
It's fine. Not the greatest steak in the world. You should have got a ribeye. You got strip. I knew you were gonna get strip.
Patrick and I talked about that.
But
flavor is delicious.
Ew. Something's gross about this.
That's like
it's
hard
just not
to cut
tender.
through. Yeah. So how long did the cycle run on the dishwasher?
Hour and a half.
Okay. Because it could make it better if it ran for like a heavy duty long cycle, but it might also be a problem because it's probably going to cook it even more.
Yeah.
But if it's in there longer, did you do a high temp wash or just normal wash?
Normal wash.
Okay. I'm going to say, because it could, if it was a little lower temperature but longer, it might tenderize it more. Just that longer sous vide cook help it some, but it's not bad.
I think it melted out all the intramuscular fat.
It was like an Applebee's steak.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's just not. There's something weird about it.
Not very good.
It's probably all that Cascade.
Nothing went in with it.
I mean, you're telling me like all the soap got out of a dishwasher? Like, come on. It's probably got a little hanging around there, all the suds.
You're going to creep him out if you continue with that. Personally, I don't care. I'll eat some soap.
The steak is either really tough or your knife really sucks. Or maybe both.
It's probably a little bit of both.
Like I have to push
Yeah,
down
you have to really get
through there.
You have to really get through it. Flavor standpoint, really good. Butter, ultimate steak and roast rub, and then a good amount of beef tallow down on the griddle before it hit. So flavor's delicious, but yeah, can't believe that this is even something that I have to say. Don't sous vide your steak in the dishwasher. It doesn't work.
It sounds cool, but practically no.
Got to wash it down with my coffee now, since it's still in the morning. So,
well,
is there any other good drink for steak besides like a beer?
Wine.
Oh, really?
People really like red wines.
Okay, I mean, real people though. What are we drinking with that? Good Canada Dry. Sugar-free Canada Dry, a whole 2 liter.
Canada Dry Zero.
I really do like a good Canada Dry though. Ginger ale. Yeah.
It's got a great bite to it.
It really does.
crisp.
Yeah. It's like when I'm drinking a Sprite, I go, it'd be a little better.
Just one level up.
Yeah. I can't get on the zero sugar train though. So
Canada Dry Zero is like it has the bite that you're looking for. It just doesn't have the sweetness.
Yeah, it probably needs the sweetness. Like my brother Kevin, who is a maniac. He'll just drink the unsweetened tea, like the one from QT or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, the brand Greenleaf or something
Sure.
like that. And it's just, I'm like, oh, what is that? And he's like, oh, it's just my tea. And I'm like, dude, we get it. You're a hard ass.
Yeah,
you
that
gotta walk
terrible.
around with zero sugar.
Cannot do that.
Have you heard the news about Quick Trip?
No, what is it?
Not that this matters about for a podcast at all, but personally, I'm excited.
Breaking news. Here we go.
They are putting in. They supposedly they're already like testing it, demoing it in Wichita, but putting in like full digital fountain things. And so instead of having like one of all the flavors and you have to wait in line if everybody wants the Diet Mountain Dew at the same time, there's like multiple.
Oh, I see.
Oh, you just like select.
And you select it and it dispenses like, so there's like 3 or 4 in a line. They do that. It looks like they're doing it with the tea, with the soda, with everything. So it looks really cool.
But isn't that the same thing as like those Coke vending machines now?
Yeah, but imagine like
Kind of.
10 of them.
Okay.
You know, you don't have to wait on anybody.
Yeah.
You could probably mix, do a little flavor add in right then and there. I think I see utility for this, but
I'm not a fountain drinker.
I'm trying. Yeah. Once you get on that train, it's hard not to, because then you'll look for any. Oh, I have 10 minutes to kill. Let me go get a pop. Let me go.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And yeah, I mean, and we can get into the whole conversation: pop, soda, Coke. What's everybody like to say around there? I know here locally, because I'm from here, it's pop for the most part. Can you agree to that, Austin?
Yeah, I usually say soda, but I think pop is the more common.
Is that because you want to be different, or you just like something about the word? I'm a less syllables guy. Anytime, I mean, we got a new guy in named Timothy. I go, I'll give you Tim.
Timo.
Tim T.
But Timothy is hard.
T Dog.
It's a lot.
Yeah, Timothy.
Some effort there.
Yeah, like don't call me all my names at once. Like that's ridiculous.
All right, I'm gonna move this. Get your presentation ready.
Okay, so I found this at the store the other day, and I'm kind of excited because usually on podcast I get to be in the dark over something, and so I was like, I found this, we got to try this. I already opened it up, I looked at it, I know what it looks like, I know what it smells, tastes like, and Jon is sitting here in great anticipation. But it's kind of meat related, but kind of not.
It's meat related.
So mushroom jerky.
And I'm a well-known mushroom hater. So my big question is it slices of mushrooms or is it restructured?
It is slices.
I figured it would be.
I figured there was a 50-50 shot on what it would be. But this blew my mind when I tried it. Like, it is not what I expected at all. I figured it would just kind of be a hokey thing that would, I don't know, someone's trying to make a meat product, but this is closer to a meat product than I would have ever imagined. It's not a meat product.
Right.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But best imitation meat product, I maybe would say that I've had, because we went through a phase there where we were like trying all the weird stuff, alternative proteins and whatnot. And this one, I think, takes the cake.
So it says shiitake mushrooms, Himalayan pink salt, black pepper, coconut sugar, which I've never even heard of before. I didn't know coconut sugar was a thing. Avocado oil and chia seeds.
But doesn't that start out looking like a little jerky
It's pretty
nugget?
good. Yeah. It's got a good, it's doing a good job about lying about what it is.
Yeah. It's hard to bite and chew into. It's like a tough piece of meat.
Yep.
By the way, this would, I think, kill my wife. She's very adverse to mushrooms, so.
Really?
Yeah. Damn it, I just gave away my entire...
How you planning on
doing
it?
if she worded yeah. All right, throw it here. That was a catch, by the way.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Texture, flavor.
Flavor's off. Like, that was the salt and pepper one?
Yeah.
That needed more of something. I don't know what it was.
Wait, so this has no meat?
No, it's a mushroom.
No meat, totally mushroom.
Oh, dude.
Oh, this one has a very different texture. Is this shiitake mushrooms as well? Yep.
Yeah.
They're all shiitake.
I think the thicker the piece, the better it is.
How long before the trip starts to settle in?
When do we start feeling it?
Yeah.
No.
I don't know.
Not those type of mushrooms.
I wish we could. We'd have a real fun podcast here.
We would just, I mean, in an hour from now, we'd probably just start laughing as hard as possible.
All right. I like the teriyaki one.
Strangely, The teriyaki is probably my favorite.
Austin hates soy sauce.
No, it has no soy sauce. Like, this is just a teriyaki flavor. It's not. Most teriyakis, I think people should relabel them and call them soy sauce. That's what people put in it. But this is mushrooms, avocado oil, water, coconut sugar, orange peel, garlic, sea salt, coconut sugar, ginger, Himalayan pink salt, chia seeds. Very clean label.
Yeah, it's a very clean label. All right, original's not bad. Huh.
So what's
the brand is called Pans.
I've never heard of the brand before.
Neither have I.
I'm sorry, are you saying
Pan?
Pans?
100 calories per serving. Serving is an ounce, or about half a container.
So you have original salt and pepper teriyaki. What's the other one?
Applewood barbecue.
Oh, I gotta try that one.
Coming at you.
Trade you.
Yeah.
Oh, your hands were full.
Yeah, I got a hand on it, but I could only use one finger. Nice.
So does it float your boat at all? Or are you like, oh, it's cool, but I'm never eating it again?
It's way better than you could imagine.
Yeah,
like if someone told you I had mushroom jerky.
That's not something I would like ever spend my own money on.
They got to be expensive too, right?
Yeah. How about it?
I have no idea what they cost. when I see stuff like that, I get too excited at the store, and I'm just like, ooh, I'm gonna do one. And then I was like, there's 4 flavors. We're trying them all. Put them all in the cart.
It's a write-off, right? At the end of the year, you're like, oh, it was a business expense.
Oh, yeah. So when I go to checkout, I checked out with those first, and I check out with company card.
Yeah.
And then I check out the rest of my stuff on, my personal stuff. So
what store did you get them at? This looks like a at-home purchase or Home Goods. Like as you're going through the little maze thing.
I don't remember. I was at Natural Grocers and Green Acres this weekend, both over by Bradley Fair, but it was one of those two places.
Both of those would make sense as well. So
I will probably buy them again.
Okay.
Like, I legitimately like them.
Yeah, they're not bad. They're definitely not bad. It's just not something I would choose.
Such a mild barbecue flavor.
Yeah, I didn't care for the Applewood barbecue, really. It's between the original and the teriyaki for me. I think I liked the original the best.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Here, throw it back.
Did you want to try any of the other ones?
I think I'm okay.
Okay. All right. Moving on. We've got just a couple things to talk about. Austin sent over a TikTok from a guy called Ticked Off Alpha. And this is a guy who has Alpha Gal. And this got me going down a bit of a rabbit hole. So there are 2 things there now. We don't have to click on either one of them. Basically, this is a guy who found out he had Alpha Gal syndrome and was reacting to all sorts of meats. Now, you remember when we had the professors on from Kansas State? They weren't really focused on treatment protocols at this point. They're more still in like information gathering times.
Yeah.
But very interestingly, he had found a protocol that used ivermectin as its base. Now, ivermectin, for those of you who remember COVID-19, came under severe fire. People were using it, claiming it was curing them. Other people were saying it does nothing. That's the one that's horse paste, right? Ivermectin.
Yeah. People label it as
It's used in veterinary medicine for horses, but I believe its initial use was to cure river blindness in like humans.
I can't see under a river to save my life, so I don't know.
It's not that. No, some parasite gets in your eyes, and like you go temporarily blind.
Does it come from a river at all?
Yeah, I'm sure that's where it originated from. Yes.
You're sure of that?
I feel very confidently about this.
Or it's what River Phoenix died of?
Or it could be that. Just goes after people with weird names.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, yeah.
Like your name is Mountain. Well, you're getting river blindness. Good luck with that. But
that person was
really
definitely homeschooled for sure.
So he has gone through like 2.5 weeks of treatment now, and he is starting to see some positive results. One of the things I read through some of his comments on his most recent video, somebody's like, dude, you look much better. And he's like, yeah, thank you. I keep hearing that from people, that I just look like I'm healthier now after taking this course of ivermectin.
What a backhanded compliment. You look so much better now.
It's a compliment I think any of us would take, though. Like, oh my God, you look great.
No, they're saying, wow, the rest of your life, you look terrible.
But I still feel like that's a compliment most people would take.
That's what they're not saying.
Yeah, it's still a compliment. It's not. I mean, you can take anything as an insult.
Yeah.
You can, but it's still it's a compliment.
Yes,
it's fine.
Yes, but that got me going on. Okay, what treatment protocols are out there for alpha-gal? And just so this is an enclosed podcast for anyone who's watching and does not know what alpha-gal is, you get bit by a tick, you get this alpha-gal syndrome, you become allergic to the carbohydrates in beef, pork, and a few other red meats, which is always surprising to me that it's the carbohydrates in the meat that people are allergic to. But this other guy had gotten it, and now he only had a reaction to beef. So I don't know if this makes a difference, but his protocol is called the SAT protocol, and it's a acupuncture protocol where they put very, very thin needles about the size of a human hair into the skin around your ears. And then he was taking a 3-a-day antihistamine mouth spray on top of that. He also cut out all meat, even ones he wasn't allergic to, and dairy for, I think, 3 weeks. And then they told him, cook a steak. Don't eat it. Don't touch it. Don't do anything. Just cook a steak. Want to see how you deal with like the smells of it and just it being up in the air.
I mean, that's rough. Go cook a delicious steak, but you can't have it.
And yes. And this is a guy who looked like he enjoyed a steak too.
Yeah.
So he did that and he's like, I was fine. It's like the next thing they tell you to do is cross-contaminate something. Like put a steak on a cutting board, then put something else on the cutting board and just eat the something else. So he did that and he didn't have any reaction. And they're like, take a very small bite was the next step. He did that. And he's reintroduced steak and has had no reactions to it. So if we do get alpha-gal, there is definitely some hope, right? Like 2 years ago, I was looking at this like death sentence. I think I even said, I'm like, well, I'd have to quit, right? Like I couldn't work here and not eat meat. It just logistically, that's not going to work. But now all I have to do is put some needles in my ears.
Dude, if I'll be honest, if you got alpha-gal, it could be the greatest thing ever because we would just live stream you 24/7 and I'd feel bad because I'd be like profiting off of John's misery.
I'd be miserable. What are you talking?
We would be great content. It would be great content.
The content of me not being able to do the thing my job is about?
But you would be trying to. 24/7 you'd be trying to eat meat, so it'd be like, today we're doing this and we're gonna make stuff and we're gonna try it and we're gonna video John eating something and then the video of John puking or having a reaction or
anaphylactic shock where my throat is closing up.
Does everyone go into anaphylactic shock over it?
No.
See, I'm not wishing the worst on you. I just want your stomach to be a little upset.
For a lot of people, it's bad stomach upsetness. So yeah, I would be missing a lot of work. I guarantee you that if we were trying to do that.
That's true.
But no, don't wish alpha-gal on me.
I am joking.
But no, seriously, the fact that there are a few protocols out there right now. I mean, that's huge news. If you can get just needles in your ear and an antihistamine spray a couple times a day for 3 weeks, and get right back at eating meat.
From there, it sounds like it's kind of like microdosing.
Like, do they keep doing the antihistamine spray?
No, just if you're doing like the cross-contamination or smelling it, cross-contamination, taking a little bite. I mean, you're going from like just inhaling tiny bits because when you inhale stuff, you are getting tiny pieces of stuff.
Right.
So microdosing there to cross-contamination, a little bit more of it, taking a tiny bite. Like you're just starting very small. So
yeah, you're reintroducing.
Yeah.
Okay. Like you say microdosing, we have mushrooms on the table. I'm getting very concerned about.
I don't know what the right term is for it. But so I think of it that way. Like my son has a peanut allergy.
Yeah.
And for the past like 5 years, like we keep going to like a specialist to like in what I call microdosing. We start out with like peanut flour. You work your way up to, he eats peanuts normally now, but you start out with such small amounts and you just introduce it a little more, a little more, a little more. Sounds like that type of thing. It's just my understanding is that when you have other allergies, there's no like, what would that, is that the FDA that would approve that? I don't know who approves that. who would approve like
No,
therapy like that? It would be
the National Health Institute.
I don't know, whoever
or
would
NIH, National Institute of Health.
As far as I know, there's limited allergies that they have like approved processes for. Peanuts is one of them, but in my mind, like you have a red meat allergy.
Yeah.
Why would you not treat it the same?
Yeah.
Start out with a tiny bit, and then just add a little more, add a little more, add a little more. My son still has a peanut allergy, but he can eat peanuts, so it's not like it's gone. We hope that it'll go away someday, but the goal is just you don't want anaphylactic shock.
Right.
So can you do the same thing with if you have alpha gal? It's just like this guy did. Smell it, cross contaminate.
Yeah, but
eat a little bit and just get more and more. And
you have to do like you can't just start adding it back in by small amounts and that's going to fix it. It was clearly the needles in the ear.
Oh, it could have been that too.
That was.
I don't understand how
I
that
thought
stuff works.
The antihistamine mouth spray made the most sense to me as like the effective thing there. But that SAAT, whatever, is like a well-recognized treatment for allergies, for food allergies. Also, it 100% would be the FDA. We only care about the F in FDA, but the D stands for drug.
Yes,
so it would definitely be the FDA. We're idiots. Sitting here, I'm like, who does drugs?
It's a government.
Oh yeah, the FDA.
It's a government organization. It's an acronym. You throw enough acronyms out there, you'll find the right one.
Oh, we're gonna get to a story in Meat Matters that will accurately portray how inept our government is.
Sweet.
It's absolutely ridiculous. All right, all of this has closed down. I'm trying to open this back up. All right. There is a quick story I want to talk about, but it's not really Meat Matters. They're talking about reintroducing grizzly bears to California.
Nice.
Does that also mean we get to hunt them?
No.
Well, they
I
got to
don't
earn.
want
They,
to get to hunt them.
they got to earn that flag of theirs. So
Right. The grizzly bear is on the flag there, and they had a couple of different grizzlies. I think one of them was like the Mexican silver grizzly. And it was a big old grizzly bear with a silver mane kind of on its top. So turn up.
I
Is that
mean,
what you want?
I'll just say it, I guess.
Yeah,
Jeez.
just say it. Just talk to me about it. Don't try and I'm not ever going to be able to take off camera cues without talking about them. But the introduction of the wolves to Colorado has gone so well. I can't imagine what could possibly go wrong with putting grizzly bears back in California.
I was gonna say where does this lead? Because on one hand, it sounds cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I still like the idea of wolves. Wolves sound cool, but the practicality, like, they kind of don't exist. They're kind of for a reason. On the other hand, we can't get rid of animals entirely. We need animals, but there's a balance, and it concerns me when you're talking animals that are higher on the food chain than humans.
Yeah.
And unless you put a firearm in the hand of a human, but I mean, to an extent, human versus grizzly, no outside factors. Yeah. Who wins?
It's not
You're gonna take the grizzly every
Yep.
time.
Yep.
So they're a little scary.
The natural progression of this, though, is people putting sharks in swimming pools. Like, you're like, well, sharks go in water, and you have water in your backyard. That's where it belongs. Like you said, there's a reason the grizzlies are no longer there. They were having too many interactions with people, so people killed them off and drove them out. Now they're talking about reintroducing them into mountain ranges in northeastern California, I guess, which are far less populated, but you're causing problems for the people who live up there, and it's biologists and people who live in cities who love the idea of this aren't going to have to deal with hey, I'm out in the woods now, and something out here could be hunting me.
I'm curious who's driving that train, because California, you got two very distinct different population groups.
Oh, yes.
You got I mean, you have countryside. You have people that live out in the rural parts, and it's very different there from downtown LA.
Yep. Yeah, I think they call it Jefferson, or want to call it Jefferson, like the northeastern portion of California wants to secede and become its own state, because they're so much different. And same thing as like eastern lower California. They're also very agricultural. So yeah, I think having a beach and too cool of a weather just messes with your mind. Like, you lose perspective on everything. It's just like, no, everything's great. We're just going to chill by the beach all day. That's not real life.
Until your beach is inundated with grizzly bears.
Oh yeah, that would do it.
We're gonna go rob banks and jump out of planes all day in our wetsuits.
It's not a crime, or it's not a shame if you die doing something you love. All right. The other thing, and this all started because I wanted to do a quick segment that said, basically what your favorite cut of steak says about you, and I wanted to do it mostly so I could make fun of people who pick like filet mignon, and I was going to allow Patrick to have the rant, whatever rant he wanted about pulled pork, but it got flipped and changed, and now we have had our intern create you and I a quiz to find out which meat we are. Now, Patrick, you haven't taken this yet either, have you?
No, I'm pulling mine up. So
before we do it, we have to determine, is there a best one to get? I don't know what all the options are. I know summer sausage is out there. I know jerky is out there.
Yeah, I'm also unaware. But
okay,
if there
so
was,
none of us know.
If there was a cut of meat, I would want to be brisket because I consider that the top.
Okay.
Of like, I mean, best steak aside, right? But like stuff that like I actively desire and wanna, that's me. I want to be the brisket of the bunch. So
fair enough.
Nice.
I like that
Got
one. Do you have a meat you're hoping to be?
I'd say snack stick because you're more fun and flavorful than the others, and you're versatile.
Okay. And I want a regular steak or jerky. All right, so here we go. I think there's only like 10 questions. It shouldn't take us long, but I will read out the questions aloud as we go. Don't share your answers. All right. What is your ideal weekend activity? Hitting the open road with no plan, hosting a backyard barbecue, trail running or hitting the gym, being deep in the woods, phone off, movie marathon, snacks in bed, crafting or building something cool, lighting the fire pit and sharing ghost stories, or attending a food festival or trying a new restaurant. I'm going to go, okay, got that. Pick a drink with your snack.
Wait. Do we not tell our answers that we're having right now?
Do we want to do that?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think it would make a
Sure,
huge
go ahead.
difference.
What do you got?
Oh, well, I'm definitely doing movie marathon with snacks in bed.
That makes sense.
Lighting the fire pit and sharing ghost stories.
I figured that would be yours. Mine is the back in the woods. All right, pick a drink to go with your snack. Black coffee, cold beer, kombucha, sweet tea, sparkling water, something spicy like a Bloody Mary, bourbon, or electrolyte water.
Oh, I like a beer when I can get one. So
okay. You're going electrolyte water.
I'm gonna go sparkling water.
Okay. I'm going with bourbon. What's in your glove box or center console? Hot sauce, resistant bands, candy and a phone charger, binoculars and a flashlight, cheese cubes in a cooler bag, napkins, a couple of meat sticks, and a multi-tool, or toothpicks, a notebook, and maybe some wire.
Why is there not a none of the above?
Right. My gun is in mine.
I have napkins and barbecue sauce packets for sure. That's me.
Okay, so Patrick's going that.
I'm spoken for.
I guess the closest to what I have would be binoculars and a flashlight. Like a kind of like outdoor gear.
Yeah, that could be a weapon too, a flashlight.
I'm gonna say my closest is candy and a phone charger, but it's like called gum and a phone charger.
Sure.
Close enough for me.
Sure.
Your friends describe you as wild, chill, adventurous, reliable, inventive, traditional, social, or disciplined.
Jeez. Between wild and chill. I'm really not that wild though. I'm just loud. I'll go chill.
Is this what you want your friends to describe you as?
Yes.
Or what
I don't know.
Would?
Is it easier for you guys to answer for each other? Because what is Austin, and then you can help him pick on the list.
I looked for boring on here, so it wasn't one.
So does that qualify for chill?
Yeah, sure.
Disciplined.
All right. Pick a scent. Fresh laundry, cedar woods, smoked meat, pine and leather, sharp cheddar, campfire, bacon, or burnt ends.
How do you not choose bacon?
Yeah, how do you not
Cedar
choose
woods
bacon?
Is there?
What's cedar woods?
Cedar is like an amazing smell.
Where do you get cedar at? When would I have smelt this?
Okay, fair enough. You may never have smelled that. What's your ideal pet? A hunting dog, a golden retriever that loves everyone, a pig you swear you won't eat, however, a loyal dog, no pet, just peace, a sleek cat, a raccoon, or a snake.
A raccoon.
Yeah.
I mean, are you guys going loyal dog?
Yeah, a loyal dog.
Hunting dog.
Okay.
I don't need a loyalty.
No. Please go get that.
What's your favorite time of year? Summer, anytime there's food. Spring, winter, holidays, doesn't matter. You're indoors tinkering. Hunting season, Halloween, or fall.
They have Halloween. Yes.
Winter holidays.
Patrick?
Yeah, Halloween for sure.
All right, I'm going fall. Which best describes your cooking style? Microwave and done, meal prepped and portioned, smoker and good vibes, fire pit or Dutch oven, spicy and chaotic, board of snacks, carefully plated, one pan, many results, cast iron or bust.
Board of snacks. A little bit of a lot is better than anything.
It's not bad.
I'm microwave and done.
All right, I guess I'm going one pan, many results. Because there are a bunch of different things I like to cook. Choose a fictional character to hang with. Not bad. Ron Swanson, Samwise Gamgee. That's Sam from Lord of the Rings. Daryl from Walking Dead. Remy the Rat from Ratatouille. The Dude from Big Lebowski. Deadpool, Captain America, or MacGyver.
Obviously, the Dude. I mean, that's
a good one.
That's my.
That's a good one.
On Meatgistics, I believe that's one of my you can have a quote by your name or whatever. Mine's like dude, that's just you, like your opinion, man. Yeah.
Or his dudeness if brevity's not your thing. Who are you going with?
Samwise Gamgee.
Okay. And I chose Ron Swanson.
Of course.
What's your biggest strength? Boldness, consistency, curiosity, self-reliance, creativity, warmth, discipline, or comfort?
How is comfort a what?
Yeah, right.
What?
Come here.
Comfort a strength?
Oh, maybe you comfort other people.
Come here.
Oh,
okay.
You are comforting.
Gotcha. Yeah,
you guys took it as like
that's not my strength, I guess. Obviously,
I'm very comfortable right now. Creativity for me. All right. Be careful. As soon as you click that one, it gives you your answer. Okay. How do we want to hear our results, guys?
Okay. Patrick, you can go first.
I got smoked bacon jerky. You're indulgent and unbothered. Calories? Never heard of them. You like luxury in every bite. Probably owns a robe. You're confident, a little mysterious, and you've got a main character energy in a small town horror movie kind of way.
That's perfect for
This
you.
is kind of like the new Zodiac, I like to think. So,
what do you got?
I got the same as him.
Oh, lame.
But we had like very different answers, so I don't know how this works.
That is.
But
I got beef jerky. I'm a road warrior. I'm practical, tough, and always prepared. Whether it's a camping trip, a road trip, or a zombie apocalypse, you value tradition but aren't afraid of a little spice. Your glove box is 60% jerky and 40% receipts. Yeah. Okay. Well, I got my backup thing.
Yeah, our weekend activities were different.
What are the other options? I want to see if I could have been a steak. I want to be a steak.
Austin's feels wrong. There's no way.
I'm a hit retake.
Yeah, let's
run this again.
Yeah,
real fast.
retake it.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you do that. Are you just gonna pick a bunch of random answers?
No. I don't know. On the ones that I debated on, I'm gonna go click the other one.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll definitely do it. I think.
All right. And well,
the way that it did it was like we jumbled the answers, is what I know.
Yeah.
And then so they originally were like, if you had more A's, you're one thing. If you had more B's, you're one thing. If you had more C's, you're one thing. But since we jumbled them, you might have just been like you said, a single answer away. Like you might have had an A, B, C, D, D, E. So we probably just had one of the same of.
So initially, if
just
you
a single one.
answered all A's, you would have gotten like beef jerky.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
So.
All right. But while you guys are doing that, I did some research on deodorized beef tallow, and I just want to go over it. There's a couple of different ways that you
got something you wanted?
I got snack sticks.
All right, he got.
Oh wow, there you go. What did you change? Which one did you change that you remember?
Oh.
Also, read to us what snack sticks.
I still did fire pit and ghost stories. I changed sparkling water to kombucha craft soda. Toothpicks, notebook, and wire. His random things. I have more random crap in my center console than anything probably. Cheese for a cent. Figured that probably better describes me.
Yeah, no kid. Yeah, you should have retook this. Yeah.
I kept hunting dog, winter holidays, board of snacks, carefully plated, Samwise Gamgee.
Okay, so you only changed 2.
I only changed like 2 or 3 there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I changed 2, and I still got so mine's definitely what
you were correct.
Yeah.
I think if you choose bacon on the scent, it's probably just like an automatic you're a bacon.
That's a good point.
But Meatstick says you're always on the move, fast-paced and fun. You like your protein portable, you're snacky, not snackish. You've probably texted on my way while still brushing your teeth, and that's okay because you show up with snacks.
What do you think?
Yeah, that's fair. I would say it's fair. I don't know about the fun one, but other than that. All right, but I want to talk about this. I did some research on deodorized beef tallow because there was that whole thing with when Buffalo Wild Wings first came out saying, hey, we're using beef tallow again. Some nutritionist went and found the label of the, quote unquote beef tallow they were using. And he's like, no, this is deodorized beef tallow. It is not blah, blah, blah. It's not good for you. So I wanted to find a couple of things. One, what are some additives that companies would use to deodorize their beef tallow? And it's sodium hydroxide or potassium hydroxide. Phosphoric acids, they might use sodium chlorite or chlorine dioxide, and those are all bleaching and odor control agents. Phase transfer catalysts, another word for them, is quaternary ammonias, which is something that we're familiar with biquat, right? That's a chemical that we sell that people then break down into, or not break down, what's the right word? Dilute to use in cleaning kitchens. Calcium sulfite and ethanol. And that one's used as a solvent to dissolve the free fatty acids that are in tallow. Now, the most interesting thing I found out about this, because if you go to Amazon right now and search beef tallow, you will get so many pages of results. And it's for everything from cooking to skincare to making soaps. None of them that I found were using anything even remotely like this. Like all of them are pretty much 100% natural beef tallow. A few of them, like skincare products, had some either like avocado oil added, vitamin E, or some essential oils. But as far as like the stuff that's designed for cooking, nobody's selling it with these additives, which is awesome. At some point, that's going to change. Once you start seeing beef tallow in grocery stores in large amounts, then you're going to have to start looking through these labels and making sure that you're not having a bunch of these chemicals added to it, because at some point someone's going to be like, yes, we could render it like that, or we could just add some, sodium chlorite. Well, sodium chlorite's not that bad. We could add some potassium hydroxide and cut our processing time down by 50%, and our profits will go up. But for right now, it looks like if you're buying cooking beef tallow online, the chances are you're getting a clean product, which is excellent. There are also ways to deodorize it without using any chemicals at all, and it's fairly simple. You're going to want to do what's called dry rendering, so you just don't add water when you're initially melting your fat, and do it at extremely low temperatures. You don't want to ever go above like 220 degrees. Usually stay below 200 degrees. If you go too high, it's actually going to break down a lot of the fatty acids in this, and all of your your omega-3s, everything that you actually want in there is going to be leached out of it. So just when rendering, low and slow, bucket of big pot of water, smaller bucket or smaller pot inside that water with the beef tallow in it is how we did it. And that's a really good way to be able to control the heat transfer and not get it too hot.
What happened to your finger?
We're gonna get to that.
Oh, this is planned on the rundown?
I mean, I have a video of it.
Oh, really?
Yep, unfortunately.
Yeah, I hope that we don't end up taking a more natural ingredient and process and just turning it into a processed product, because to do it on a large scale, I imagine that's where people are going to go, because that's why things end up processed, is because it's faster, cheaper. There's more of a profit in it for XYZ reason, or a longer shelf life. You name it. Like there's always stuff that's done to make someone more money in the process, and not everything's about making more money.
Sometimes there's a reason.
A better product.
Right. There's a reason to do it. Like they're not just doing it; they're doing it because either they want to spend less money or make more money, basically, which amounts to the same thing. All right, moving on to meat matters. Meat prices stay pricey as cattle numbers dwindle to a new low. This is from the New York Post. It's a quick little article. It says meat prices remain high across the country, with staples like steak, chicken, and ground beef still costing significantly more than they did 1 year ago. Get out of here. Sorry, I was getting a moving pop-up. The number of head of cattle in the United States is at a low not seen since the 1950s, said Nate Rempe, president and CEO of Omaha Steaks. That supply pressure is really putting a lot of upward pressure on price, especially as demand is still so strong in the U.S. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, meat prices have increased year over year, with steak up 7%, ground beef up 10%, chicken and ham right around 3%. He believes the issue goes beyond tariffs and trade policy. Supply is a tricky issue. You can't just flip a switch or adjust a tariff. We need to rebuild the herd, and that's going to happen over the next roughly 12 months. The American cattle herd hit historic lows. The latest USDA report shows a multi-year pattern of decline in the number of cows and heifers. At the same time, new tariffs imposed by the Trump administration are complicating the market. The U.S. imports a large amount of meat from Canada and Mexico, two countries affected by recent trade changes. My guess is by Q3 of 2026, we'll kind of start to come out of this. While acknowledging the short-term strain on tariffs, Rempe also expressed support for efforts to renegotiate trade deals. I like exports. I like what it does for industry and for the country. Foreign buyers tend to pay more for beef. That's good for meat packers and ranchers, but we do have to have a balance. So if this guy's right, by Q3 of next year, we might start to see regular beef prices again. Do you want to know what I suspect?
I think it's just a load of hogwash.
Yep.
And prices always go up.
It's here to stay.
Prices don't come down.
Nope. Yep. Very occasionally you'll get something where the price, that's not truly a commodity, I guess, but something like that where the price will come back down again. But that's only once demand is cratered for it. Other than that, if they find out they can charge you $15 for a steak instead of $12, you're paying that $15. Right.
Prices can come down a little bit, but it'll never come down to where it was. We might, if prices, I don't know, increased over the past few years 50%, maybe they come down 10%. But everything it went up, it won't come down.
I agree. Yep. Food additive titanium dioxide likely has more toxic effects than thought initially. We're not going to go into the article really, but do you don't want to know what this was in food for? Titanium dioxide.
What?
Coloring agent.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And that's it. That shocks me to a ridiculous degree. Now, I get it from a food manufacturer standpoint. Once again, these aren't things that they're adding just because they want to get rid of titanium dioxide. These are things that they're adding because it's been proven that this is what consumers require for them to buy that product, right? They need the food to look a certain way. Like I think the example they use in that article is mac and cheese. Just realize that unless you're making your own homemade cheese, your own, all of that, you're buying things that are going through a fairly substantial process, and it's going to leach the colors that you're expecting to be in there out of them. Don't make them add this. Like if you get asked on a survey, like, oh, blah, blah, how important is color to you? 0. It's not important. Like, you're eating something that went through this enormous plant. It is no longer a regular cheese product. I think it even has to say like cheese-like product.
Yeah. I get it when there's things added for flavor.
Yep.
But not color.
Nope.
Like, I just don't like it. Not a fan. There's other ways around it. If you still want the color, they're just more expensive. It goes back to somebody made a decision to make a cost lower so they make more money on something. But I was even talking with somebody about this type of stuff this morning because we brought up SureCure and talking about the red dye in there because things are going to change with SureCure.
Yep.
not immediate. It'll happen eventually. There was when the FDA started banning the different coloring agents and stuff here recently. I think they gave like a 24-month window or something like that. So people will wait probably till close to the end to make a true final change. But SureCure's red because it's makes it easily identifiable and it's cheap. But why is it red? Arguments for and against. Technically, it doesn't have to be red.
Yeah, it could be blue.
It could be blue.
But the problem is the reason they won't go with another coloring is what happens when that gets outlawed as well.
Or just go to white. Don't have a color. There's reasons to not.
Yeah, there's
do
a risk
too,
involved with that. Like we talked about it. I mean, sodium nitrite is something that's incredibly potent, or not incredibly potent.
Dangerous
In the wrong concentrations. It absolutely can be dangerous. We've talked about that terrible trend on social media of people who are taking their lives doing that. So there's a reason that it is clearly identified as a different thing than table salt. You would not want to confuse those two things. I just don't know how, if you don't add some sort of food coloring, you're going to mitigate that risk.
Yeah.
I worry that the end result of that will be like, okay, well, no more sodium nitrite. And then we have lots of problems.
Kind of, but at the same time not. It's gonna drastically change the market to use celery juice powder. Use other.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing, but
so you're gonna
the
have
market will move. You won't stop because it's already people want to put on meat products uncured. It's a lie. It's not uncured.
That's cured. Yeah.
It is absolutely cured, but they won't want to get rid of all of it, and it'll still stay around. We will always have cured meats.
So for anyone who doesn't understand the science behind what Austin's talking about there, when somebody uses celery juice powder to make quote-unquote uncured bacon or only cures provided in nature, it's from root vegetables, and that sodium nitrite is chemically the same thing as what the other sodium nitrate that's made in the lab. So they have the same health benefits, same meat benefits. And when I say benefits, I mean both ways. Like same thing is going to happen to you if you eat too much celery juice powder as if you eat sodium nitrite. So, yeah. All right. Ice Raids meat production plant in Omaha, Nebraska. Dozens detained. So read through this article, and the most shocking and upsetting part of this to me was the plant manager came out and talked to the lead ICE agent and was like, hey, we use the government-provided or government-recommended E-Verify on every one of our employees, and yet still they're coming and finding illegal aliens illegal aliens working there. So the tool that the government tells these places, and I'm sure we use E-Verify, to make sure that somebody is allowed to work in this country isn't working. And that is the perfect representation of how broken our government is.
Yeah. I hope they're not coming down hard on the meat plant themselves.
Sure.
If they're doing what they're supposed to do. Because to be honest, as much as you try to do what you're supposed to do, someone's always doing something wrong. There's too many rules and regulations. If someone comes in and wants to point out something you're doing wrong, they'll find it.
Yep.
They will.
Show me the man, I'll show you the crime.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, they removed dozens of workers from here, all of whom, according to the plant manager at least, had passed an E-Verify background check to make sure that they were able to work in this country legally. It is an enormous problem, the number of illegal workers we have in this country. I don't know what the end result is going to be of fixing that, but probably a good amount of upheaval. I mean, Omaha is a big meat processing town. So if they went after one, I would bet there are a bunch of other plants in Omaha or in Nebraska right now, Kansas, Oklahoma, who are having meetings like, hey, what happens if we get raided? Who are we losing? How do we mitigate this and try to not let it hurt us too badly?
I'm sure a lot of industries are on the heavier side than the lighter side. It just depends on who you are, where you are. But it says that over half More than half of all meat packing workers in the U.S. are immigrants. So,
Okay, but that's a different thing. Immigrant versus illegal alien,
yes.
Not the same thing at all.
I mean, but if it's like this company, if they're using E-Verify and they think they're all just immigrants and they're fine and they're not, how do you make that distinction?
From the plant's perspective?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't.
You have to have a better tool, and that has to be provided by the people who are supposed to be keeping track of who's here and who's not, who's supposed to be here and who's not. Because some of this might just be people who overstayed visas. Like, that could be part of it, right? So I hire you in 2016 when you were here on a 14-month visa. E-Verify says, yep, this person's good. And here it is 10 years later, you're still working for me. And I didn't know you were on a visa. I just assumed, actually you probably do know that a worker's on a visa, don't you?
Yeah, you're going to know.
Yeah, you would know that. Okay. So in that one instance, I guess I was finally wrong. We're on episode 240 of this podcast.
First time ever.
I'm finally wrong on something. God, that feels good. I was waiting for that to happen. All right, moving on. We've got some wild cards. The first one we're going to show, and we'll just watch it on mine so that Patrick has an easier time editing this. But the first one we're going to show happened on my live stream the other night, and it is the reason I'm wearing this little Band-Aid.
Ooh.
So we'll go back to the beginning. You see, I yank my hand back, immediately look at the camera, annoyed at myself.
There were words rattling around in your head, and you're trying to think what you were going to say.
Yep. So I put on a glove over this.
To control the bleeding.
And okay, now I'm just talking about, I'm answering someone's question about a stuffer. When I went to pull off both the gloves, it had started to clot. And like this whole clot like came out. Dude, it was disgusting. I mean, I got myself pretty good. It's not terrible.
So it wasn't like you were just a little blood coming out, a little leaker. Like you had blood.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we had blood. It was more significant. When I took it off, I was surprised by the amount of blood. Like I thought I literally just nicked.
Did you go to HR and file a workplace accident report?
Hold on, you're not gonna be able to hear this guy. Oh, that's unfortunate.
I'm not gonna arrest you if you're vegan.
So, anyways, this is a health guy, and it's very funny because he says, "Are there any vegans here?" He's running a health conference. It's like, "Are there any vegans here?" He's like, "I'm not gonna jump on you for being a vegan." It's like anyone who thinks, you know, if you're here and you think veganism is a healthy lifestyle, he's like, you're absolutely right, as long as you add in meat. I just loved it.
That's awesome.
And then continuing on just our animal stuff, a bear and a wolf were found in Finland working together. So it is a grizzly bear, a brown bear, and I think it was an Arctic wolf. They were found hanging out with each other, hunting together, and then eating food together. They legitimately would share meals. And they think what's happened is that they were both, when they first met, like sub-adults and just had to form a relationship as like a safety thing. And they've stuck together. But look at the size of that bear. My God.
It's a large bear.
And doesn't it kind of look like that wolf is biting him on the butt?
On one of the pictures.
That picture doesn't look
like
it's like, I'm going to bite you.
So what happens when the Grizzlies from Northern California and the Wolves from Colorado, they meet up in Utah, find each other, and they create a pact, and they're like, we're going to take over America.
Imagine a wolf the size of a grizzly bear. They obviously can't
insane.
interbreed, right?
No, you can't do that. That doesn't work that way. That'd be like this is whatever. We're just not having this conversation. No,
sharks
they
and
can't
dolphins.
interbreed.
Dolphin shark. That's going to be the next shark tornado.
If all the animals in the U.S. got together and was like, we're going to take out the humans, would they win?
Yes, absolutely. It wouldn't even be like they're focused and saying like, this is what we're doing. Yeah. What would be the most dangerous one?
I mean, probably just the insects. The vast number of them are just going to come and just micro eat you away.
But we're allowed to fight back, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. I'm walking around with the fly swatter. Get everyone one of those electrical fly swatters, and we're out of insects in a couple of weeks. We win that part. I think birds would be a huge problem. Just constantly being dive bombed by birds.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to cause accidents. People are going to be running away out into the road.
Like Japanese kamikaze pilots?
Yes. I was thinking, honestly, magpies. You ever seen that in Australia? Like, during magpie season, everyone will go outside with helmets on because the birds just come and, like, dive bomb people's heads. All right. And then this is... Dogs would also be a real problem. Like, there are a ton of people in my neighborhood, one-on-one, Brutus is winning. Like, he's walking away from that, and they're not. What else? No, you've got me on this. What else? Cats. Cats could be, like, if you get attacked by, like, 30 cats, you're probably not winning.
You're not walking away from that fight.
No, they're winning that fight.
Like, as soon as any animals with claws,
yeah.
I mean, they're more nimble, and they're just you can try to defend yourself, but you can't move like they can.
What a bad way to go. Raccoons.
Ooh, what a bad way.
That would be, they're just getting attacked by like a horde of raccoons. Wait, do we have guns? Can we still use our guns?
I mean, yes, but
we're going to shoot each other a lot by mistake.
How long is it going to take for everyone to realize that we're under attack? So give them the first few days, people are just dying.
Yeah, it'd be a day until people are like, hey, something's going on. It's Marky Mark in the happening.
It would take longer than a day. People would be like, no, they wouldn't.
It'd take me two instances with animals all trying to attack me.
Well, yeah, you'd be going fine. You'd be fighting back. But 90% of America would just be like, we don't know what's going on. This is a Russian psyop or something. Like,
rats. Imagine being in a city where all the rats are like teaming up, trying to kill people. Oh my God. You'd have to flee the cities immediately. No one from the city's making it out. They're all dead. Ugh. That is horrifying. I do not want to think about that. I don't feel like we have enough snakes to make it a real problem. Right?
There's not enough venomous ones.
Right.
At least around here.
Yeah.
Other parts of the country they could have issues.
I mean, what's a garter snake or a water snake gonna do to you? You stomp on it.
I killed a garter snake the other day. I was so proud of myself.
Face to fear?
Oh, no. I kill snakes all the time, but like normally the first part of the year they're like all little like kind of baby snakes. They're a foot long or something. Now they're starting to get bigger.
Right.
And there was one that was a few feet long, and it popped up while I was mowing. And normally I hop off the mower and I head stomp them. This one was past that range, and I was not gonna head stomp this one. It was too big.
Yeah.
But I have a mower.
Sure.
So
and that mower's got blades
sticking its head up, and I'm gonna go try to get it back up. No, he starts slithering off, going fast, and I'm going after him. And then all of a sudden, I like stop because he stops, and he's like hunkered down, and then he sticks his head up real fast. I just slam the thing forward, chop its head off. It was great.
Could you feel the thunk?
Yeah. It was exciting.
I would have paid a lot of money to have security footage of you chasing a snake around with a mower.
I need to go back and look. I have a little birdhouse camera, and I was doing it like right in front of the birdhouse. Yeah.
Yes.
I could have.
See if we can find that.
I'll go back and look.
I would like to see that. What kind of snake was it? Was it just a garter snake?
Just a garter snake. Okay. Yeah. Which is weird because I don't have a lot of garter snakes around. Usually they're just little water snake or a rat snake or something. I don't care as much about the garter snakes because they don't get as big. They don't do anything. They're fine. Yeah. But still a snake, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah.
So.
Rat snakes are a real pain in the butt though. They're mean. Yeah. Also, garter or gardener?
Garter. I think it might be a T. Is it a T?
Yeah, Garter? Like a woman's garter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. When I was a kid, I 100% thought it was gardener snake.
I thought it was garden. So
just garden.
Where do you find them most?
In the garden.
Yeah, you usually find them around the garden.
Okay. So we're gonna watch this video and then we're gonna answer this question once and for all. What is the correct? Is it garden, gardener, or garter? All right. So again, this is the last one. I'll play like this for a while, but just once again, proof that the male.
Oh my!
No, it's going through. The male lions do a lot of the hunting of the big animals in or lion prides.
Dude, that thing like jumped on that sucker and it just is attached.
So it is underneath it, holding on to its jugular, and it's just like, nope, you're gone. You can try like stomping on me all you want.
Holding his front legs so he doesn't get stomped on too.
That's with his back paws, he's got him up against his, and his claws are dug in there, and that thing. I mean, that's a water buffalo. It's a big animal.
There's people just in a Jeep just watching.
Dude, I don't know if I'd be doing that.
I would not be in an open side Jeep.
Yep.
Well, oh my.
Go, what if it decides it wants us instead of that water buffalo? And boom, he's got it down in less than a minute. And that water buffalo, say goodnight.
That's insane.
That is absolutely crazy. Those things, lions and tigers, because we don't have them here, we don't fear them at all. But if we had lions or tigers on this continent, that would be I'd be more afraid of that than a bear.
I would take them out. It would just hunting legal or illegal.
Or like garter snake.
I don't know. We all know that I'm more apt to kill animals than anyone else in this room.
I think maybe than anyone.
If it was, if they were here, I had property, they were a nuisance on my property, they'd be gone. I don't care if it's an illegal thing. I shouldn't say that.
You definitely care.
Like,
he definitely cares.
I would because you stand no chance.
Against that?
Yeah.
No.
Even if there was like, we'd start talking wolves, bears, like I wouldn't feel safe with letting my kids I let my kids go play outside, sight unseen. They just go because there's nothing they're going to get into that is going to. Yeah,
and that's not really
nothing that's really going to hurt them. But if you're in a spot where there's wolves, bears, tigers, lions, like I wouldn't just let my kids go out. They'd end up as a snack.
Yeah, but like people who live in Montana let their kids play outside, and there's grizzly bears there.
Not like a lot though.
So you're saying if
the bear population in the U.S. is pretty low.
Is pretty low. Yep. All right. So garter snakes and garden snakes are two names for the same species of snake. So I was wrong twice on the same podcast because I thought it was gardener snake. Although I did change the garter snake in like 10 years ago. Anyways. All right.
So Patrick and I were right?
Patrick and you were right.
Equally right.
You've been correct your entire lives.
Oh,
I
my
was
goodness.
incorrect until a few years ago. All right. We got anything else we want to talk about?
Hopping back to the mushroom jerky. I have no little bits in my teeth. Other great thing about it is it doesn't. I eat other jerky. I had pizza jerky yesterday. And I had to sit there with...
Hold on. Pizza jerky sounds fantastic.
When did you make pizza jerky?
I don't know. It's been in my fridge for...
Oh, wow. That's a
very long time.
That is old.
I opened it, and I was with my wife, and I was like, I don't know that I trust this. As soon as I ate it, I'm like, no, we're eating all of this. It's still amazing. But then I had to pick it out of my teeth everywhere.
Yeah, I remember, like, it was the pizza... It's a jerky and snack stick flavor one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that was the one that I always thought tasted like Pringles.
Yeah, tastes kind of like pizza Pringles.
Tastes like Pringles.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. We will not be having a live stream. Well, this comes out on Friday, so they won't know. Sorry you didn't have a live stream last night.
Whose phone is that?
Whose do you think?
We ran over by 15 minutes today. I said it was.
Oh my God! It's 11:14.
It was on a timer to come off at 11, and so the last 15 minutes.
I retract my exasperation.
Never mind.
Yes. Sorry about that, Austin. You were being good.
Whoops. Jon was wrong 3 times on a podcast.
Oh no. All right. We will see you guys in a week.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for checking out the Meatgistics podcast. To shop everything but the meat, head on over to waltons.com. To get your meat processing questions answered by experts and enthusiasts alike, head on over to our online community at meatgistics.com. Waltons, everything but the meat.